Welcome into DRF Daily, DRF Sportsbook's daily betting live stream, coming at you whenever there is football on. We are on Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays, and Mondays. Today we're breaking down 3 games on this NFL slate today, including tonight's primetime game between the Bengals and the Ravens. And as a friendly reminder, you can find all of this information that we use, all of the exclusive betting data, trends, angles, line movements, everything like that on drf.com/sports. If you head on over to drf.com/sports, you hit sign up for free in the top right corner. You get access to all of our free previews for today. That includes Cincinnati Bengals. It includes tomorrow's Raiders Chiefs games. And we'll throw up free previews throughout the week that you should definitely check out and use to make your days profitable. I've been fading the picks. I've been fading our data as of late, and it's hurt me a little bit. I haven't had the best start to the football season, but we're looking to bounce back here today with 3 fantastic picks. We're breaking down Bears, Vikings, Cowboys, Rams, and Ravens, Bengals, an AFC North showdown, an NFC, kind of 2 heavyweights of that conference squaring against each other against the Cowboys and the Rams. And then we have an NFC North showdown between the Vikings and the Bears. And before we get into anything else, just a friendly reminder to follow us on Twitter, social media, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, at DRF Sportsbook. All of the exclusive betting angles, lines, trends, line movements, everything like that is shared to DRF Sportsbook. And if you live in Iowa, it's essentially a must follow at this point, giving out amazing promotions, specials, giving you guys all the inside knowledge on what's happening with the book, so you do not want to miss out on any of that. So if you're in Iowa, for sure follow us at DRF Sportsbook. But even if you're anywhere in the country, we're sharing data every single day. And if you're anywhere else in the country, download DRF Cash Grab.
Introducing the DRF Cash Grab app, the super easy, free-to-play sports predictor game from a name you know and trust. The Daily Racing Form. Use your sports knowledge to predict the winners, and you could score thousands of dollars in cash prizes. Pro football, college football, pro basketball, college basketball, hockey, soccer, boxing, baseball, and more. Compete against others for a spot on the monthly leaderboard. Download the DRF Cash Grab app and play today.
All right, we're back and we're breaking down some fantastic games. We're starting things off with a 1 p.m. slate, noon local kickoff. Bears, Vikings. Vikings are 7.5-point favorites, more than a touchdown favorite against the lowly Chicago Bears. The total is set at 44. Chicago comes into this one with a terrible point differential, negative 3.3 point differential, while Minnesota has a plus 1.5. Coming into this game, Minnesota is 3-1 straight up, but they're 1-3 against the spread. Not a good look for the Kirk Cousins-led Vikings. But the good thing for Kirk Cousins and for the Vikings, this game's not being played in prime time. It's a 1 p.m. kickoff. Every other game's going on, so there's absolutely no pressure on Kirk Cousins, right? I mean, essentially, the Chicago Bears team is really, really bad. Against teams that currently have a winning record, they haven't put up more than 20 points. Vikings, on the other hand, are a pretty solid offense, pretty electric offense outside of their primetime game, looking like a solid squad in the NFC North. They're averaging 22 points per game. Their defense allows 20. So a solid defense against a Chicago Bears team that doesn't know how to move the football. You'd think everything is on the Vikings. And that's what it is. The public overwhelmingly likes the Vikings to win this game. Over, I believe 75% are on it. Yeah, over 80% on the Vikings. Line opened at Minnesota -7. It's moved to 7.5, which means I'm not sure if the sharp bettors are moving that line or just the pure amount of public action on it. Also, under 44 points is what people are thinking. I think I got to fade the public on this one. I know Chicago doesn't have a good record against good teams. They don't even have a good offensive production. They have no offensive output against good teams. Justin Fields is not looking solid this year. His offensive line is really, really bad. But they did manage to beat the San Francisco 49ers in all of that rain. Minnesota scored over 20, though, in 3 of their 4 games this season. But despite my better judgment, despite everything like that, I'm going to go with what the data is saying here. If you look at the data is saying the Vikings are more like -4. Our estimate number 1 gives the edge to the Bears. Estimate number 2 likes the Bears to lose by 2. I don't think the Bears win this game by any means, but I don't know if the Vikings can hold on to a multi-touch, a 10-point lead, an 8-point lead. 7.5 is a tricky number. 7 points is one of those numbers in football that you always circle. That's the teetering point. It's teetered to over a touchdown at 7.5. I think the Vikings can win this game by a touchdown. I think the Vikings can win this game by 6. I think the Vikings, there's a slight possibility to win by 8, but I think there's more possibility and more, probability the Vikings are going to win this game by 7 points. And that's why I'm on Chicago plus 7.5 here. Don't think they win. I don't think Chicago is even that good, but I think they'll be able to hold the Minnesota Vikings a little bit. And in an NFC North showdown, it's always tough to get a gauge. And at 7.5, there's just no way I can pull the trigger on it. It's against my better judgment, but I'm going Bears plus 7.5 here. This game I'm in love with. Cowboys are plus 5.5 against the Rams. Total is at 42. In what world are the Rams this season 5.5 points better than the Dallas Cowboys? I know this is a Cooper Rush Dallas Cowboys squad. Dak Prescott most likely won't be back, but Cooper Rush has come in and he's undefeated against the spread. He's undefeated straight up as a starter. And not only that, the Rams' biggest weakness this season is stopping the pass rush. It's having a competent offensive line play a full 60 minutes of football. And the biggest strength of this Cowboys team is getting after the opposing quarterback. Micah Parsons, front runner for Defensive Player of the Year. You have DeMarcus Lawrence, such a loaded front. You've such a tough time slowing them down, even if you are a good offensive line. And on top of that, Trayvon Diggs is looking like he can do more than just intercept the ball. This Cowboys secondary is playing really well. They're 6th in the league in yards allowed per game. They're 3rd in the league in total sacks with 15. And on the flip side, the Rams are tied 3rd for most sacks allowed. Matt Stafford's been sacked 16 times. He's thrown a buttload of interceptions. And you're telling me the Rams are 5.5-point favorites in SoFi? That's not even a real home field advantage? Give me the Cowboys plus 5.5 here. Dallas's only weakness on the defensive side is stopping the run. They aren't the best at slowing down opposing rushing attacks. But this is the thing. Cam Akers isn't Cam Akers of old. The Rams' offensive rushing attack is not good. This offensive line is not a good rush blocking line. This offensive line is not a good pass blocking line. I'm all over Cowboys plus 5.5. And I think the Cowboys win this game outright. Our power line kind of agrees with me as well. Not necessarily that they'll win this game outright, but that this line is just way too big. There's almost no value on the Rams at minus 5.5. If anything, this is a pick'em game, right? Cooper Rush hasn't looked bad. Cooper Rush is keeping things all together. I mean, CeeDee Lamb will be matched up with Jalen Ramsey, and that will be a little bit of a tough matchup, but I think they'll be able to move the ball with Tony Pollard, Ezekiel Elliott, and the other weapons that the Cowboys have. Cooper Rush, all he has to do is take care of the ball. Yeah, Cowboys offense hasn't been great, 18 points per game, but neither has the Rams offense, 18 points per game. The only difference is the Cowboys defense is one of the best in the league, allowing 105 yards per carry, 4.8 yards per pass, a total of 4.9 yards per play. Rams have a negative 6-point differential. The Rams are 2-2. The Rams are a loss away from going under 500, and I think that's going to happen. It's going to happen tomorrow. I think the Cowboys are the much better team in this, even with Cooper Rush. And it sounds blasphemous to say that considering the Rams are the defending Super Bowl champions, but I just don't see a way that the Rams can win this game, let alone win this game by 6 points or more. And I'm afraid I'm going to click this line move and the public's going to be siding with me. Public 57% on the Cowboys. This line did open Rams -6, and it's come down, almost went all the way down to -4.5. It was hovering there for a while, and it's bounced back up to -5.5. But Cowboys all day, every day. I can't believe I'm backing the Cowboys here. I can't believe I'm backing the Bears too, but here we are. Heading into the final game of the day that we're breaking down. It's time. Our featured free game of the day today, Bengals at Ravens. Ravens 3-point home favorites. They've blown 2 17-point leads this season, and that's a big cause that they're 2-2 this year. The Bengals, on the other hand, also 2-2. Bengals a long snapper injury away from being 3-1 in this season. Weird game against the Steelers to open the year. Total is set at 47.5. Our power line thinks it's about -2 type of game. So the line isn't too far off. One of our game estimators thinks this is a 22-22 game. Another game estimator likes the Bengals to win this one 25-3. I think this is going to be a close, gutted out type of game. Two and AFC North teams that don't like each other. Bengals are trending in the right direction. Ravens, I don't know what the Ravens are doing. For the first 2.5 games, they were one of the worst rushing attacks in the league outside of Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson made him one of the most potent ones. I mean, Lamar Jackson is playing at an all-time MVP level. He's playing better than he was in his MVP campaign in 2019. But I don't know if that'll be enough against this Bengals defense, this Bengals offense. I mean, the Ravens have a better offensive attack than the Cincinnati Bengals do, but I think the Bengals might actually have a little bit of ability to attack this cover 2 Ravens defense. Bengals don't run it well this year. Bengals average just a woeful 3.1 yards per carry, 29 rush attempts this season, only 90. They average 29 rushing attempts a game for not just 90 yards, although they allow opponents to just 86 yards per rush. DJ Reader, though, their big defensive tackle, who was really solid for them the first couple of weeks of the year, he's going to be out yet again. He's going to miss, I believe this is his second game that he is going to miss. And Cincinnati at +3 on the road looks really, really enticing. Baltimore, though, is 13-12 against the spread at home against Cincinnati since 1992. But I have two things going in the Bengals' favor that I think you all want to hear because they're perfect historical trends, and that doesn't happen often. Cincinnati is 8-0 against the spread when they go on the road against good passing teams. And we're going to describe a good passing team by a completion percentage of over 61% over the last 2 seasons. 8-0 against the spread in that scenario. That's an insane mark. And then they're also 7-0 against the spread in road games, where the total is equal to or greater than 4.5 points over the last 2 seasons. You pair those two up, both by which are 2 ratings. They have a rating of 2, I should say, which our highest is 4, so it's pretty solid. It's a lot better than 0. So 2 against the spreads that are perfect. I'm going to, and Ronnie Stanley's out. Marcus Peters questionable, but he didn't practice on Friday. I'm going to go Cincinnati +3 on this one, and I'm going all road dogs to cover. I love the road dogs in this 3-game slate, and I think they're all going to cover. I think the Bengals have a chance to knock off the Ravens. I think the Ravens have a little bit of inner turmoil, and I don't want to get into the heads, and I hate playing psychologist when it comes to betting games because I just know what's in front of me. I just know the statistics in front of me. But, I mean, Marcus Peters was yelling at Harbaugh last week, and this team has blown 2 17-point leads. They don't look great at finishing games. First half Ravens, really good, but I mean, the Bengals have 2 of the best receivers in the league in T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. They're playing a cover 2 that I know they can take advantage of because they've played fantastically this season against cover 2. I don't know if this Ravens defense will be able to slow down a Bengals offensive attack that might not need Joe Mixon in the rushing attack to do anything. This is a passing attack that averages 6.6 yards per completion. Baltimore averages 7.4. Baltimore's offense is solid. It is worth mentioning. But Bengals have the better point differential at 5.3. Ravens have a 4.8 point differential. So give me Bengals +3. And folks, it's all the road dogs. It's every road dog. We're on Chicago +7.5 against the Vikings, Cowboys +5.5 against the Rams, and Bengals +3.5 against the Ravens. Look, I am 31, 34, and 1 this season in football. So this might be the fade zone. You might want to fade me on all of these picks. I understand. That doesn't hurt my feelings. But, man, am I feeling good about the road dogs this weekend. All right, we'll be back tomorrow with some Monday Night Football primetime breakdown on DRF Daily. We'll give out some picks, some player props that we're targeting, and we hope to be profitable tomorrow night. We even more so hope to be profitable tonight. Y'all have a wonderful rest of your day.